we've got some planes that are flying in formation. Imagine red arrows, you know, where you have planes flying together and different stream of smoke coming out the back. And they've only given you this one. They've shown you that in the fourth figure, they'd have 4 rows of planes at the back, and if we added up the number of planes, there would be 10. And then they asked you, if this was figure 4 then, how many planes would there be if there was 5 rows at the back? The easiest way to do this one is just to make your own table. So if there'd been 1 plane in the figure, 1 row at the back, there'd have been 1 plane in it. If there'd have been 2 planes at the back, there'd have still been this one in the front, so there'd been this one plus 2 more, so we'd had a total of 3 planes. If there'd been 3 planes in the back, there'd have been 2 in front and 1 in front of that, so there would have been 6 in total. 4 in the back row, there'd have been 3 in the row before, 2 in the row before that, and 1 in the row before that. So we can see the pattern here, can't we? We've got 4, 3, 2, 1. So we've got what we had originally, plus we're adding 3 in figure 3. We got what, and then we move those over to figure 4, and then we add 4 for figure 4. So for figure 5, so let's look what's happening. Can we see, here's a nice easy pattern, 1, 2, 3, 4, that's the picture number. What happens here? Is there a pattern? 1 to 3, yes, that's plus 2. 3 to 6, plus 3. It's a different number. This is the first time we've come up with different numbers here. 6 to 10 is plus 4. But we can see a pattern that we add 1 every time. So plus 2 to plus 3 to plus 4. In figure number 5, we'd expect there to be plus 5 more planes, so there should be 15. So I don't need to draw all of them. There'll be the 10 that I had before, plus the 5 that I add for figure number 5. So the first part of the question was, how many planes would there be in figure number 5? So we can answer that. 15 planes in figure number 5. The question is, can we make a formula of this ourselves? Well, when we see that the number here is changing, we can't use the one that we had before, that we take this difference and multiply it by n, because this difference changes every time. So there's a different formula for that, and we can notice almost that if you look at these ones, they're almost like a triangle. This triangle is 2 long and 1 high. This is like a triangle as well, 3 long and 2 high. So we can, these particular series of numbers, they're called triangular numbers. And we can actually write them as the formula n times n plus 1 divided by 2. And when we see this increased pattern like this of 1, we can actually think, okay, what does that mean then? Well, it means if I've got figure number 2, I take n, which is 2, and then I multiply it by n plus 1. Well, 2 plus 1 would be 3. That would be too many. But then I divide the whole thing by 2. 2 times 3 would be 6. 6 divided by 2 would give me 3. So it will give me the answer here. Let's check and see if it works for the next one. 3n times n plus 1. Well, n plus 1 would be 4. 3 times 4 would be 12. 12 divided by 2 would be 6. So here's our formula. When we see this type of sequence, we can often check, is it n times n, or is it n times n plus 1 divided by 2? Sometimes it could be n times n minus 1 divided by 2, but usually there's some sort of n multiplied by another form of n. But here in this question, they gave you this formula. They told you that the formula for the number of planes is n times n plus 1 divided by 2. And then they told you they wanted you to work it out for when the figure number is 10. How many planes would there be in figure number 10? Well, we just put 10 wherever we see n. Here's n, we put 10. Here's another n, we put 10, but it says 10 plus 1, so we know that that's going to end up to be 11. Divided by 2. So we get
Not plus, times.
times here. So here we get 10 multiplied by 11 divided by 2. Well, 10 divided by 2 is 5, so that's almost easier to get 5 times 11, because we know that that is 55. So there would be 55 planes flying in formation if we were to have 10 planes in the last row, or figure number 10. And that was how you were to do this question. And you don't need to worry about how you get this formula. The 9th graders need to worry about understanding how to get that formula. You just have to be able to use it. And it's quite easy to use, because what you do is, wherever you see an n here, if they tell you that figure number 10, that is what n is, you replace the n with the number 10, and then just work out the sum, or the product, okay, in this case.